find some of those shortcomings and maybe be able to find a source of victory here against the monsters of the South in Entity 7.
Yeah, so it makes total sense here, especially when it comes to Entity7's lineup, especially with the Trinity, the champion in Trinity on the last split here, Shin, Doom, and Hide on Bush, and with the addition with Vagin and Akashi, two very experienced players as well. So I believe that DreamMax here is gonna be is gonna have a hard challenge when it comes to experience and the synergy coming out from team. We know that Gu and Zeus have their potential and have their like high level proficiency here when it comes to this gameplay, you know. But once again, facing Entity7, which has like this experience not only in the online competition, when it comes to stage, they also have this experience as well. So let's see what they what they're going to do, and they're going to fight against Entity7. And see here, we see some reactions between Xena and Private from the bans. Grok, Ivan, Fanny, Pobios, Valentina, and Guinevere, but letting Zunshin open here on the first game.
Zushin, Baxia, Freya is, Zushin, Baxia, Freya, they're all open. Marcel, there's a lot of things open right now, and especially is that Freya and the Zushin that are open right now. So this is pretty exciting. I mean, if they give Shaikiche that, maybe they are banking for Shaikiche to take that Zushin. Maybe they have a counter for her. They're gonna go ahead and pick that up. But Baxia and Freya are still open here too, so this should be interesting.
Marcel with the Freya pickup here. So I'm expecting to see the Yusun Shin come out for the side of DreamMax as well, because it's been such a great fit into that gold lane, something that Freya's not going to be able to dominate so easily in there. You're going to have that dash to be able to kind of create that distance. Not just that, but you have a Zushin on your team as well to kind of really head off on that offense here. So do we go with the Boxia pickup so quickly, or do we maybe save that for a different match here and not kind of go with the entire meta so early here for the side of DreamMax? They're going to go ahead, scoop up the carry as a first pickup, something that hopefully in that mid to late game is going to be able to burst down like as a quick in the gold lane. I mean, you have to be pretty confident with carry in the first place. She's got a dash, but it's not a dash that stops her from getting into harm's way. I feel like oh man, there's just, I don't even know what to expect. Freya's not going into the gold lane. Freya's going into the XP lane.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was thinking about like as we were talking about, saying, okay, we might have this possibility to get Freya on XP lane, as we saw today. I believe it was on the first match, right? Like Entity7 versus Alpha 7. I'm not sure, but we saw a Freya on the XP lane here, and it happens again. But now with Entity7's turn, it's gonna be very interesting here, because now we're getting Harriet on the gold lane. Sora is the fourth choice of ban here. Like, this first draft is so chaotic in my mind, but I'm still trying to find some options for both teams here, especially when it comes to for example, mid lane here for DreamMax is already set, it's Zunshin. But when it comes to Entity7, Lilia is out, Ivy is out. We still have Barca, but we have to think this, it is going to be a good idea to Entity7. Harley, now it is the last ban here from Entity7. So, Zetian. Okay. Now, I think that, I don't know if Farsa here could be a very interesting mid lane from Entity7 with Kalia and Zunshin, especially on the mid lane here, causing this pressure. Maybe they're bringing a Kimmy on the mid lane here, but now with Leomord Marcel to get this pressure on the river, I don't think this is going to be the best one, but still it's a strong lane phase here for Entity7.
There's a whole lot of interesting picks here. I wonder what they are gonna pick up to kind of like shut down the Freya here at this point. I know you did say like Yeast and Shin's good against a Freya. You think that they would pick that up here, or a jungler on the side? Oh, not a Suyu. I had a feeling that they would choose a Suyu because he's very comfortable king on that Suyu. And Esme, okay.
I don't hate the Esme here. This is something that we've seen King do very, very well on. This is where he kind of started his hero arc when he was coming up and being a great pillar for the victories that DreamMax have had here, especially against the shielding that Freya is going to have, the shielding that Harith is going to be able to have out there as well. The only problem for me is that it makes it kind of a huge target for Marcel to be able to kind of shut you down with that golden hour as well. And I'm not a big fan of Carrie versus Freya in the early game because Carrie's range is so short and Freya has a pretty big jumping distance. Entity7 gonna go ahead and round out their composition with that final Kimmy pickup on Shin.
Yeah, but Freya is gonna be versus Harith, right? Not Freya. I think this Esmeralda is gonna take over Freya. Yeah. And okay, Kimmy here on the last choice for Entity7. Yeah. So this is really interesting here because on one side here, so you have this XP lane with Esmeralda who's gonna take advantage on this shield coming out from Entity7. But even though with Freya, with Harith, with Leomord, this is strong composition coming out from Entity7 as well, Private.
I did want to comment though that Goo did really well on that Esme before, so him being on that Goo might be a comfort pick. I mean, on the Esme might be a comfort pick for him. So this could be a match that it's really good to watch here for sure.
Yeah.
One thing I get a little bit worried about is Goo getting a little overconfident on the Esmeralda. I think a lot of people on Esmeralda can start seeing that shield get a little confident, especially when you're talking about a team game where ganks are going to be the name of the game, especially in that XP lane, to make sure that Freya can shine, especially in that XP lane where it's going to be that first objective is basically on your back to see which one of these XP laners can become a part of the fight first. Are you going to have the flight of the Valkyrie come down, or is it going to be the falling star moon from Goo? We're about to find out.
Yeah, so when it comes to these compositions, I think that the most of the things are gonna be shown from this first levels, because from one side you have the Kalia, which until level 4 she doesn't have like this like the peak off situation with the Tsunami Slam, but she has also the knockup situation. And when it comes to Marcel, if he works very well like stacking with this buff, he can do the CC as well here. But now, ladies and gentlemen, everybody here, thank you so much to stay with us at this point of this tournament. Let's go. Welcome to the Land of Dawn. This is the best of 5, the last of the day. Entity7 versus DreamMax. Let's go, my friend Private.
You can already see the offensive ability of that Zushin pick coming into play, as I already dropped back in very, very low. A little bit of a freeze going on there onto Shaikitse, but I mean the offensive ability really coming through immediately for DreamMax. And now that we have a pause in there, we have a moment to talk about both of these compositions kind of coming out here. Both of these teams are fighting for their survival in the playoffs. We're at the semifinals, and unfortunately one of them will be going home. And now, I mean, when it comes to this kind of matchup here, I'm very curious as to how at what point are we going to be able to shut down the Freya? I've played the Freya in a lane against an Esmeralda, and I want to say the Esmeralda, it's usually pretty neck and neck, but Freya can be able to get over the Esmeralda, mostly because of the jumps that she does that really like pop up the Esmeralda and can really stall a lot of your combos that you want to get out there. So it can be very interesting. If this XP lane does not go in favor of a DreamMax, I feel like this is going to be a very hard game for them.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree, Zina.
Yeah,
wise words. As always, wise words, Zina.
I said I feel that having Zushin on the in Shaikichi's hands might be a huge factor in having them have kind of like an upper hand here. So even though they did pick up that Freya, if she's in fact able to kind of like CC her out there in some way and kind of like keep her at bay, that might be helpful to the team, and then maybe that they can kind of come back from that. As well as they have Suyu here. King's very comfortable with him, and we've seen him do a lot on him as well. So this will be a fun match to watch them for the fact that they left a lot of these meta heroes open, and to see that happen.
Yes, I agree with you, especially when it comes to Shaikichi is going to be definitely one of the pillars from DreamMax on this first game. As was Private was saying, like this Esmeralda versus Freya situation, I believe that this lane phase that could go like as even from both sides, but I believe that at some point of the game, Freya is going to take some advantage on like this split push situation. So it is something that we can talk later, Zina.
Yes, and I want you guys to take advantage of these diamond drops, guys. We have diamond drops going on. Be sure to stay in the chat, keep engaging, and all of that. And you get a chance at these diamonds for those emotes and all that good stuff, right? I love especially that one emote where it's like it's not really an emote, but one of those things that you can do and slap people with the Layla. The Layla slap during the matches. Those are fun.
Yeah, with some diamonds, you guys have an opportunity to go ahead and get yourself a Starlight, emotes, skins, whatever your heart desires. And who knows, maybe one of your favorite skins is upcoming in Mobile Legends as well.
Yeah, when it comes to these interactions, I prefer the cat one, like and I said, okay, yeah. Everybody likes to, only like on the game. I said, oh my god, you just scaring me like with this cat here, but that's okay. But now here, we are back here, Private, with this first game, DreamMax versus Entity7. Let's go.
As I'm looking at this composition coming out from the side of DreamMax, another thing that's really going to be super important for DreamMax is the cohesion and the synergy coming out from this. You're going to be able to get that tsunami slam, but you really, really need Gu and King to be able to dish out that damage to really drop them down. Shaikichi will be able to get another CC onto them, but that's going to take a little bit of a time as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see if DreamMax can really kind of fit that synergy, find that cohesion that they need to be successful to put that damage after a tsunami slam.
Yeah, in the mid lane here, let's go.
Yeah, speaking of which, we do have the Phantom Steed coming out there, Gu in a little bit of trouble there as a well down King in trouble, looking for an escape, and it's going to be able to use that Blade Surge to get himself out of harm's way, but Blink goes down. Gu able to find himself an escape, and not as bad as it could have been, but still, one goes down to set up the first turtle for Entity7.
Yeah, and I can say here it was cheap. It was cheap for DreamMax. It could be very worse because King and Shaikichi. No, I think that Gu was able to survive in this first team fight here on the mid lane. So Entity7 got the first kill, got the first turtle. Yeah, it's a very interesting early game here for Entity7 Private.
Yeah, not just that, but a great early rotation coming out from the side of DreamMax. Unfortunately, Entity7 was prepared for it. Oh, look at, they're already looking to possibly find an invade into there, but do not go into the jungle. But I want to say Gu, it speaks well for Gu, or for the side of DreamMax, because Gu was able to actually find his way into this fight at the mid side as well already, before Akashi was able to kind of join them. So it speaks well on Gu being able to use this this Esmeralda to be an intimidating factor, to be able to rotate a little bit faster and potentially help out DreamMax in the future.
Yeah, I believe it when it comes to this lane phase situation, Gu is gonna have some kind of advantage. But at the same time, I believe that this Freya is gonna be a pain in the neck where if Gu like tries to help the rest of the teams here in team fights, in objective ones, because this Freya can simply ignore on the side, for example, and force the split push. As we know that Freya has like this high potential to get the towers, to get this map dominance at the most of the time. So, oops, again, okay, on Shaikichi.
Yeah, he was looking like he was trying to get a little stun to set up something on to Shakichi there. Ooh, we have 3 down on the bottom. Does Goo know about it, or is he going to try to get baited into this fight against Akashi? Very smartly going to hang out into his bush there. Ooh, coming in with the Tsunami Slam, followed up by the Falling Star Moon. Is that going to be enough? Down goes Akishi. A great combination, but here comes the rest of Entity7 trying to put the damage on to Shaikichi, and they find the kill. Meanwhile, Goo might be in trouble, getting chased by the whole of Entity7. Back in trouble. Is that going to be enough to pop up there? Goo with the kill, able to even things up on Entity7. 2 and 2 apiece for DreamMax and Entity7.
A chaotic battle here on the goal lane. On the bottom lane, sorry, on XP lane here, but with 2 players down for Entity7, but it's still Entity7 like trying to guarantee this the second turtle with a no fight back coming out from DreamMax, while like King is on the topper side, making the lizard. But now here again, and Doom, Zeus, Okay.
Yeah, Zeus took a little bit of damage there, but he was able to secure the gold minion. Now you can see Entity7 continually forcing their way into the jungle at the bottom lane. Really, looking at it as like the weak end for Goo, who had to rotate back, and now they actually might be met up with a duo. Ooh, I think Goo tried to go in with the Falling Star Moon, did go just a little bit wide. 2 and 2 apiece here, just a narrow gold lead for the side of Entity7. But I want to say, what I've noticed a little bit better from the side of DreamMax. Ooh, a little bit of a fight here. A little tapping coming out. Blink does not land with his jump just yet. So a little bit of hellos, a little bit of poking coming out from the side of DreamMax. Goo goes in with the Falling Star Moon. It does miss wide, so he doesn't connect with anybody at the mid lane. Now he's going to have to go ahead and take that long road back to his lane.
Yeah, so now maybe Goo is just a little bit anxious here to restart his team fights to get in some initiation to help DreamMax, but here comes.
Oh yeah, big fight coming in here. Hide on Bush does get taken out. Golden Hour is out. In comes Doom looking for the damage. Down goes Shikitse Shin with the kill there. Down goes Blink as well. King looking for the disengagement, uses that blade surge to get away, but it will not be enough as Vagin finding himself another kill.
Oh my goodness. Zeus is completely lost. Getting down here. 1 more kill for Entity7. It doesn't stop, Private. Look at it on the bottom side here.
Yeah, Goo and Akashi duking it out here. Akashi has no fear. Even taking solo, Goo had to try to chase after him and is not going to be able to find the kill on him, unfortunately. Meanwhile, up at the top, Entity7 makes short work of the top tower. And right now, DreamMax finding a very hard job of keeping up with the pace. Meanwhile, as I say that, Shakichi comes in from the top. Shin in a little bit of trouble there as they put some damage out. Is that going to be enough? Shakichi finds the kill onto Shen. Vagin thought he would be able to come in from the top, but gets halted by the rest of DreamMax. Now starting up on this turtle, Vagin goes in. You can see the big Valkyrie's descent coming in onto the side of DreamMax. Hide on Bush, able to get the turtle, while the Freya swinging away at the rest of DreamMax. Down goes King. Vagin able to find a kill onto Zeus. Blink wanted to answer back so desperately, but is not going to be able to find the damage. Finds a pop-up. And he is not able to find the kill as Doom finds one of his own.
It is so amazing the way that Entity7 somehow they start the initiation. They turn on like the turbo and they only like play forward. They go through the chase. They go through the kills. They go through this control and dominating the pace, especially when it comes to the team fights before objectives. Once again here, Entity7 with this confidence to chase down the enemies. Even when DreamMax still have the tower #1 on the bottom lane. So Entity7 once again here like punishing this I would not say DreamMax's mistake, but still, here come Goo, but it's still like some hesitations coming out from DreamMax in some place.
Yeah, well, even in the last game that they played, one of the biggest glaring defaults was even when DreamMax was able to keep the pressure up with Entity7, Entity7 was still able to get the macro, still able to get the towers, even though things were basically tied. It's just that Entity7 was able to make more use. Ooh, in trouble, getting chased underneath his tower and taken down. Now, big pop-up comes. Tsunami Slam. This might be it for Hide on Bush. From the backside, Shakiche spraying on the damage. Shen is able to find the kill onto Blink, and Entity7 take a tier 2 tower at the top.
Yeah, so 2 towers plus here for Entity7 at the top side, and now they're heading for the first Lord here. Immediately started by Entity7, and we like it all seems that we don't have a fight back coming out from DreamMax because we have King on the orange buff. If King has this info, Zeus is heading down, but it's already too late because Entity7 got the Lord.
Yeah, and I feel like we've been doing such a great job. Ooh, from the back end, trying to come in with that golden hour. Shakiche able to use her flicker to get out of harm's way, but Akashi now closing the distance, looking to take her down. Doom finding a kill onto Goo. Blink being chased right now as well, getting slowed down, looking for the escape, but gets taken down. Doom with the kill onto Blink. Down goes Shakiche, and King using that blade surge to get himself out of harm's way, but Entity7, the damage has been done. A 5-14 game and about a 6K gold lead for Entity7.
Yeah, Private. So here the high ground towers on the top and the mid lane here only left for a DreamMax. They still have the tower number 2 on the bottom lane. The Lord is heading on the top side here, 14 kills. We're seeing the items here now. War Axe, Hunting Strike for Leomord, Corrosion Sight and War Axe and Golden Staff here for Oops. To Freya on the top side on the XP lane here. Harriet, the Heaven's Feather of the Holy Crystal are ready for the gold lane, are ready for Doom with a 5-0-4. Entity7 dominating so hard here this first game.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, DreamMax finding it hard to even try to defend some of their towers. Goo up at the top does get spotted out by Vegin, who goes in and is now at a good point where he's really not afraid of what can come out from DreamMax. He's very confident in his ability. He's been doing such a great job. Ooh, he's going to find the freeze on the Goo. But he's been able to find a lot of these great golden hours onto Shakiche to allow Entity7 to be able to close ranks around and make sure that she is not able to get away. A place where a lot of teams, different teams have failed being able to get to that back line. He is doing it with ease.
Yeah, so it is it's so nice to see as we saw the Marcel's compositions evolving on this MCT AMER South. In like at the beginning, the most are like not the most, but it's still like a 50-50 of the Marcells that we used to see was not like so successful. But now at this point of the tournament, like the most part of the Marcells that we are seeing, like they're winning, they're like getting successful here with that compositions. So maybe Vagin, just because I said it.
Vegin takes a lot of damage, and this is what I've said. He's not afraid anymore. They got such a lead. He's got the defensive items that he needs, that even when they have a perfect pop-up with a Tsunami Slam, they're not able to burst him down. And this is the exact value that you would love to get out of all of your Marcel picks. Unfortunately, some of them kind of really fail in the early game when they don't really have that tanky front line. This is going to go ahead, signal to Entity7 that they're going to go ahead and pick up this next Lord without a reply from DreamMax.
Yeah, so here another Lord now heading up for Entity7 plus the purple buff here. Dude, it's gonna be very complicated for DreamMax. Yeah, they still have some win conditions here, especially when it comes to Zeus and the carry. We're seeing now the Trinity core items are already finished. Now heading for the fourth one here. here, but still I think that Zeus with a 0-2-0, I think that he has to like appear more on this game. Of course, everything is possible. The game is not done yet, but Entity7, like I think they're more ready to win this first game than DreamMax.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed with the combination. I thought maybe it would do more having a Zushin and the Kalea on your team. It just kind of feels like they both execute the same type of ability where it comes to kind of displacing the enemy. And one of them should have been the burst potential. And that probably should have come from Shakitse, who has been doing great when it comes to a lot of those burst mages to put the damage out there. Ooh, a lot of freezing going on up there. Vagan has just been doing such a great job on this. Marcel. Omniforce laid down, damage going on to the core. We do have a Phantom Steed coming out as well, making mincemeat of that high ground tower. Goo gonna have to use the Falling Star move to get away and offensively. Look at the damage that comes out. Zeus gonna have to use that flicker to get away. The whole team from DreamMax had to disengage from the immense damage that came out from Entity7, who looks like they might be looking for a closeout just yet, or maybe clear out the jungles of DreamMax here before they head on home. Actually, Bagin goes in, gets a little bit of a freeze there onto Goo on the front end. Shin doing a great job with the suppressive fire coming out from Kimmy.
Yeah, Bagin like you're walking through the whole DreamMax's player, like saying, I left before the danger is here. But here now the base is completely opened by DreamMax. Okay, once again, DreamMax has still has Shakitse, still have Zeus here that can be the game changers on this first game, but it's being a very difficult, especially when it comes to, we're seeing now the damage dealt ranking with the Sheen, the Doom, Vagin, and Heidenbush. Vagin here leading being the top 4 on the damage dealt ranking. So it shows most of the things that we are talking about here, especially when it comes to that situation being so difficult for DreamMax to reverse this game so far.
Yeah, well, I want to say a lot of that damage probably coming from the belt that Vagin has. So he's probably gotten enough stacks to be able to do a decent amount of damage, especially when he's going in, getting the freezes on there as well. So every single time he goes in, he gets those stacks. Meanwhile here, Entity7 going to make another short work of this Lord as DreamMax can feel this noose getting tighter and tighter around them. No high ground left and still have to aim for a defense against this next Lord.
Yeah, so Entity7 now waiting for this Lord. Vagin, Vagin here once again, like working on this stacks here to freeze some people from the DreamMax. But now the Lord heading on the mid lane here. Here comes with another super minion waves. That could be the final push here on the first game, Private.
Yeah, you can see the great synergy, all the lanes beginning to sync up here. Out comes the Phantom Steed. King's gonna have to use that Blade Surge to get away. The Golden Hour does not connect on anybody but Blinks on the back end. Goo taking a lot of damage. The damage onto the core. Game 1 going to Entity7.
First game here, full dominance for Entity7. 1-0, Zena.
Yes, Entity7 was showing their dominance for sure here. They had equal aggression starting out, but Entity7 took it all. The map, the objectives, the kills, they just claimed it all, and they were just backing DreamMax into a wall. There was no way for them to escape out of there. So that's kind of like they wasted that Zushin pickup, right? So the Entity7 kind of knew how to deal with it, and so now they don't have that under their belt. So we're gonna see how they're gonna come out from this.
Yeah, I want to say there, especially when it came to answering with the Marcel, the speed he has, and I want to say Vagin had a great amount of sets because he would come from the side and the back to be able to find a lot of those golden hours onto Shakitse for the rest of Entity7 to be able to close in and take her down, making her basically a non-factor. Not just a non-factor, but a non-factor on a Zushin pickup here, which says a lot for Entity7 and their dominance and how prepared they are for not just, like I said, not just one of what most consider probably one of the stronger players of a DreamMax, but also one of the strongest heroes in the current meta.
Yeah, so we found that here on this first game, as we're seeing now the highlights. I think that we, at least for me, I think that I missed just a little bit like Blink to trying to use this Tsunami Slam to trying to make some pickoffs here versus Entity7. I missed some Zeus performance here, especially with carry. Of course, that we can talk about like, okay, the carry needs a protection. Carry needs some items to like cause the damage to impact in a positive way here for DreamMax. But still, I believe that DreamMax was way too like passive here on this first game. And, you know, like a King, I think that King tried, but the way that they was trying to find a pickoff, they was trying to find something on the game here was not like good enough to lead DreamMax to the victory, to this dominance. So it was like they were like letting Entity7 to feel comfortable in this first game. So as we were seeing, like always Vagin like walking through the plays of DreamMax. Okay, he had the Purify, any kind of like CC or control, he could use the Purify here and get repositioning. But still, I think that Entity7 like felt comfortable here on this first game because the DreamMax was way too passive, especially when it comes like we were talking about Goo with this Marauder versus Freya. On the early game, like he was trying to cause some damage and cause some trouble, but it was like that's it, okay, nothing more than that. And then like Akashi was like free to help the teams, free to help with the team fights here, trying to get this flank, trying to get this backline here, especially to neutralize the Shaikichi, which is worked very well for Entity7 in this first game.
Let's see, this player stepped onto the stage ready to dominate and absolutely delivered here. We have Vagin on the Marcel here, 319 KDA, 42k total damage, 648 gold per minute. Did an outstanding job for the team there.
Look at his mad face.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to using a roam on your team. A lot of those kills, 3 of those kills going over to Vagin there, who was just being so aggressive for his team to the point that and a great itemization by him too as well, to be able to get a lot of the items he needed to, even when he got caught by the Tsunami Slam and the entire team leaped onto him, he was still able to find himself and escape. And I feel like this was the perfect answer, not just the perfect answer to giving away the Zushin, but then they were also able to think ahead to be the last ban to use their ban of the first banning phase to ban out the Phoveus, so there wasn't a counter for the Freya out there as well. A great put together accomplishment for the side of Entity7, led by Vagin's efforts here.
Yeah, so we're seeing the Vagin's highlight with Marcel, as we were talking about here, like walking through the DreamMax's players with the Purify. So always like working on this stacks with the control from Marcel. So it was like really a pain in the neck for a DreamMax